Guy Winch, Emotional First Aid, Healing Rejection, Guilt, Failure, and Other Everyday Hurts. In Emotional First Aid, Healing Rejection, Guilt, Failure, and Other Everyday Hurts, author Guy Winch explores the powerful and often overlooked emotional challenges that individuals face in their daily lives. Using research-backed strategies, Winch provides insights and pragmatic solutions to overcoming rejection, loneliness, loss, trauma, guilt, rumination, failure, and low self-esteem. The summary presented in this app will give readers a thorough understanding of the book's key highlights, equipping them with effective methods to diminish emotional distress and build resilience by confronting these everyday emotional hurdles.
Overcoming rejection's sting. Rejection is a common experience but can bring emotional pain, damage self-esteem, and impact our sense of belonging. Combat its effects by reaffirming self-worth, concentrating on positive qualities, and surrounding yourself with loved ones. Identifying your strengths and connecting with others can provide comforting reassurance and prevent minor rejections from inflicting long-lasting emotional damage. Do you recall the sting of your first rejection? Whether it was not being chosen for a team or receiving an invitation, one certainty exists: it wasn't the last time you faced rejection. As we navigate through life, rejection presents itself in various forms, from distant strangers to career aspirations. Despite its ubiquity, the distress, anger, and self-doubt it generates persistently arises. The key to prevent minor rejections from causing serious issues is self-affirmation. One impact of rejection is the decline in self-esteem, leading to self-criticism and the notion that we're somehow deficient. Fixating on our positive traits and promoting a strong sense of self-worth can help counteract rejection. When negative thoughts creep in, resist by serving up kinder and more relevant counterarguments. Instead of presuming that you failed in that job interview, approach the situation from the perspective that perhaps the company required a candidate with a unique set of skills or background. After battling those negative thoughts, reinforce your self-worth by recalling your valuable attributes. Select 5 pertinent positive qualities related to the rejection and contemplate their significance in your life and how these traits shape your self-image. By actively focusing on your strengths, you effectively bolster your sense of self-esteem. Finally, alleviate the pain of rejection by reaching out to those who matter most to you. Humans inherently desire a sense of belonging, which is one reason rejection cuts so deeply. Engaging with loved ones, family, and friends can restore this essential connection and diminish the distress caused by rejection. When it's not feasible to physically spend time with them, visual cues like photographs, messages, and cherished keepsakes serve as powerful reminders of our support network. Breaking the loneliness cycle. Loneliness stems from emotional isolation rather than a lack of connection, but it can be overcome by challenging negative feelings, taking action, addressing self-sabotaging behaviors, and practicing empathy. By adopting these steps, individuals can foster stronger connections and mitigate the impact of loneliness on their well-being. In our well-connected world, loneliness still plagues many individuals. This sense of isolation does not arise from a lack of available connections, but rather from feeling emotionally and socially distant from others. Even people possessing numerous contacts may find themselves without true friends or close companions. Loneliness can create a vicious cycle, as it often hinders one's ability to form and maintain relationships. Extended periods of isolation can lead to hopelessness and negative expectations, resulting in fewer attempts to connect with others. However, this cycle can be broken through proactive steps and mindset shifts. Begin by challenging the negative feelings fostered by loneliness. Envision positive outcomes and presume goodwill from others. For instance, when attending an event, picture yourself meeting amiable individuals instead of expecting rejection or indifference. This adjustment encourages acceptance and connection. To conquer the helplessness that loneliness induces, actively pursue connections with those who have positively impacted your life. Engage in interesting activities via online platforms or local organizations, instilling a sense of empowerment and control over your situation. Next, Reflect on your behavior and identify actions that may undermine social interactions, such as avoiding events, being curt in conversation, or concentrating on your phone rather than engaging with others. Recognize these patterns and make a conscious effort to overcome them. Finally, develop empathy and strengthen your relationship skills by placing yourself in others' shoes and understanding their perspectives. Improved communication, problem-solving, and compassion foster meaningful relationships and help dispel loneliness for a more fulfilling life. Healing after loss and trauma. Loss and trauma come in many forms, and they have long-lasting effects on our well-being, identity, and beliefs. To recover and mend the broken pieces, we must reclaim the lost parts of ourselves through meaningful activities, while finding a sense of meaning in the experience by questioning why, not how, it happened. Identifying the positive aspects of our experience can provide comfort and a pathway towards healing. We often associate loss and trauma with dramatic events, such as accidents or death. However, broken relationships, relocating to new places, or losing jobs can also disrupt our lives and impact our self-concept. Mending after such experiences requires putting the pieces back together, akin to healing broken bones. By reclaiming lost parts of ourselves and finding meaning, we can begin to reassemble our lives. Loss and trauma challenge our identities by threatening the ways we perceive ourselves. For example, when a person who takes pride in a successful career loses their job, they might struggle to redefine their self-worth. To regain our sense of self, we must identify the cherished qualities and activities lost in the aftermath of the painful event, understand our disconnection from them, and reintroduce them into our lives. By tackling the more manageable steps first, we can gradually journey through this recovery and transition towards living a fulfilling life again. Besides grappling with our identities, loss and trauma also have the potential to shatter our core beliefs. Experiencing profound unfairness might make us question the inherent goodness of the world. To address these challenges, we must embark on a two-step process to discover meaning in the experience. Firstly, we need to shift our focus from questioning how something occurred to delving into the underlying reasons behind the event. Exploring existential, spiritual, or philosophical answers can help us make peace with the situation. Secondly, discovering positive outcomes in the experience allows us to appreciate the silver linings. From valuing relationships more deeply after a tragedy to using art as an emotional outlet, these positive aspects can serve as a source of consolation and a stepping stone to healing. Overcoming guilt through repair. Embrace the purpose of guilt as a motivator to fix and maintain valuable relationships. To overcome guilt, we must repair relationships with both others and ourselves. Offer meaningful apologies that validate feelings, compensate for wrongdoings, and promise change. If apologizing isn't possible or accepted, practice self-forgiveness by taking responsibility, ensuring non-recurrence, and atoning for the transgressions. Guilt is a universal experience that we all encounter, typically after causing pain or disappointment to others. Though guilt feels terrible, it serves the essential purpose of pushing us to mend our actions and preserve vital relationships. The problem arises when guilt consumes us, leading to distress and obstruction in living a fulfilling life or maintaining healthy connections. To alleviate guilt, we must focus on reconstructing relationships with others and ourselves. Apologizing appears to be the most straightforward solution, but genuinely effective apologies go beyond mere regret. There are three crucial components of an impactful apology: validating the aggrieved person's emotions by empathizing and demonstrating understanding, compensating for the misdeeds, and affirming our commitment to not repeating the offense. A sincere apology leads to forgiveness, easing guilt. But what if apologizing isn't an option, or the apology isn't accepted? In such cases, forgiveness is still attainable through self-forgiveness. This process involves recognizing our responsibility, acknowledging the consequences, and vowing not to commit the same errors. The final step for self-forgiveness is atonement. Examples from real-life scenarios include individuals replacing stolen items, or volunteering as a way of making amends. By initiating reparations, we can complete the journey towards self-forgiveness. In summary, Overcoming guilt requires acknowledging its role in preserving relationships and employing a combination of sincere apologies and self-forgiveness based on responsibility, non-recurrence, and atonement. As a result, we can live more satisfying lives, fostering strong and healthy connections with others and ourselves. Ditching the rumination rut. Constantly rehashing painful memories, or ruminating, can strain both your mental well-being and relationships. To break free of this harmful cycle, it's essential to shift perspectives, reframe events, and practice healthy distractions. Seeing experiences from a third-person viewpoint allows you to better understand and find closure by distancing yourself from the emotions attached. Reframe the situation by focusing on positive aspects or hidden lessons, taking inspiration from successful individuals like Michael Phelps, who uses criticism as motivation. Finally, engage in diversionary activities to redirect your mind from ruminative thoughts, ultimately leaving rumination in the past. Embracing failure for growth. Failure, though common, can harm our confidence and lead to fear and anxiety, stifling future attempts at success. However, by responding to failure with constructive reflection, learning, and taking control of your situation, you can transform it into an opportunity for growth. Establish actionable goals and timelines, address feelings of anxiety and fear with support networks or a therapist, and practice techniques such as deep breathing to refocus your energy. The experience of failure is inevitable throughout our lives, whether in childhood or as adults. It can hamper opportunities, make us hesitant to step out of our comfort zones, or even impact tasks we have successfully completed previously. Despite its prevalence, failure can undermine confidence and hinder attempts to try again. To counter these negative effects, the right response to failure is crucial for personal growth. You might believe that emotional support from friends or family is sufficient to cushion failure, but it's not enough. While it provides comfort, sympathy alone risks reinforcing feelings of inadequacy. Emotional support is truly beneficial when it goes hand in hand with practical advice on what you can learn from the experience. This kind of support ensures that you don't merely lean on loved ones but also acquire valuable lessons to apply going forward. Failure often leads to feelings of disappointment, hopelessness, and demotivation. It's vital to shift to a more optimistic outlook by taking control of your situation. Reflect on your preparation, performance, and identify areas for improvement. Break down these elements into actionable goals, along with creating a timeline to achieve them. Nevertheless, the mere thought of attempting something again after failure may induce anxiety, fear, or pressure to perform. Unaddressed, such feelings may sabotage future efforts, resulting in a vicious cycle of failure. For example, an individual eager to return to work after years as a stay-at-home parent may end up missing job interviews due to anxiety, affecting their job prospects. To prevent anxiety and fear from stalling progress, engage transparently with loved ones or consult a therapist who can help you work through these emotions. Journaling can also be an effective means of self-expression and understanding. If you find yourself distracted by fears while trying new things, utilize breathing exercises to refocus your energy and concentration. In summary, embracing failure as a catalyst for growth is achievable by transforming your response to it. Respond constructively by reflecting on experiences, establishing actionable goals, and seeking support that combines both empathy and practical guidance. Tackle anxiety and fear head-on with the help of loved ones, therapy, or journaling, and maintain focus through techniques such as deep breathing. Turn failure into a chance for growth and continued success. Boosting Self-Esteem Toolbox. Boosting your self-esteem starts with being kinder to yourself and recognizing your positive attributes. You can silence your inner critic with self-compassion, show empathy in both your experiences and those of others. Affirm your strengths by writing about your positive qualities and engaging in practices that empower you. Creating and working through your self-improvement list will lead to feelings of empowerment and an ever-increasing sense of self-worth. Flu season emphasizes the need for strong immune systems. Similarly, low self-esteem leaves us vulnerable to life's challenges and setbacks. By fortifying your self-esteem, you can shield your mind and emotions from these external blows. But how can you improve your self-esteem? Start by being kinder to yourself and acknowledging your positive qualities. The nagging voice of your inner critic damages your self-esteem, so it's essential to silence it. Develop self-compassion by focusing less on your faults and more on treating yourself kindly. One self-compassion exercise is to write about a situation that made you feel ashamed, then imagine a friend experiencing the same thing, and write a compassionate letter to comfort them. Rewrite your own account of the situation using the same empathetic tone. Another critical aspect of self-esteem is acknowledging your strengths. Enhance your self-esteem by listing your positive qualities and writing essays to emphasize their importance. Practice this regularly, particularly before significant events that might be nerve-wracking, like dates or job interviews. Lastly, build your self-esteem with self-empowerment. Feeling that you can influence your life and surroundings contributes immensely to your sense of self-worth. Improve your sense of empowerment by creating a list of aspects you want to change in your life, then rank them in order of difficulty and strategize to achieve them. As you work through the list, each accomplishment will bolster your self-esteem and drive you to take on more challenges. So, invest in your self-esteem toolbox, and you'll surely thrive against all odds.
In conclusion, Guy Winch's Emotional First Aid delves into the emotional trials that we must confront throughout our lives, offering actionable advice to conquer rejection, loneliness, loss, trauma, guilt, rumination, failure, and low self-esteem. The book guides readers on how to reaffirm their self-worth, break the cycle of loneliness, reclaim their identity after trauma or loss, repair damaged relationships, end rumination, reframe their perspective of failure, and bolster their self-esteem. By following Winch's guidance, readers will not only gain a deeper understanding of these emotional challenges but also cultivate resilience and emotional healing to thrive in their daily lives.